My quest to finally resolve the sea serpent mystery has brought me to the billionaire's playground of Antibes, near Nice in the south of France. It's very common to think that when you are looking for exotic, outlandish creatures, you're going to have to go to some remote, far-flung, sparsely populated part of the world. You certainly don't think about coming to a place like this, the French Riviera. After 3.5 hours, we finally reach our destination. A buoy in the middle of the Mediterranean. David was collecting data from this buoy when he encountered the Oarfish. The water here is about 1.5 miles deep, and this marker is anchored to the seabed by a seemingly endless chain tether. For some reason, nobody knows exactly why, the Oarfish swim up the line to within 30 feet of the surface, sometimes even closer. Nobody can say exactly when they're going to do that, but I'm just hoping that there will be one occasion when the fish is there and I am also in the water. This is an extreme form of diving known as blue water diving, where the sea floor is out of sight. And with no frame of reference, even professional divers can get disoriented. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. The jellyfish and sea salps look like they come from another planet. At a depth of about 80 feet, I feel like I'm floating in outer space. I can't see the bottom, and the chain holding the buoy is the only stationary object for miles around. This is my lifeline.
Affirmative, yes, I'm on the anchor chain. But it's a very potentially hazardous place to get drawn away from your point of reference.
I wait and wait for the myth to become reality, but there's no Oarfish in sight.
The water is very, very clear. Visibility, I'm guessing, is about 30 foot, something like that. And I'm not seeing anything anywhere near the chain. Topside, do you read me? Do you read me? Over. Probably here I'm panting a bit. Water coming in my mask. No, I'm just not doing totally well for the moment.
Jeremy, you okay, fella?
I think I'm probably about ready to come out.
Just take a few minutes and try and get your breathing in check.
I need to fight my instinct to surface immediately. I have to ascend slowly to avoid getting the bends. I'm relieved to be back on the boat, but physically exhausted. The word Loch is the Scottish Gaelic name for a lake or sea inlet, and this one is so vast that it could almost swallow Manhattan. Although it's in my backyard, this will be the first time I've cast a line into its dark, unfathomable waters. Clearly, I'm not expecting to pull out a monster right away. My first step is to find out what fish it could be feeding on. So this is really fishing at its simplest. This is the classic thing the little boy does when he first goes fishing. It's just a worm, or a nightcrawler as they're sometimes called, on a hook. Cast it out. It's got movement, it's got smell. What could resist that? I've no clue what might be lurking beneath us. But if something is tempted by my wriggling bait, then it will give me my first insight into the dark depths of the world's most mysterious body of water. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I think so. It looks like I've hooked the slimiest creature in the Loch. One of the stereotypical pictures of the Loch Ness Monster is something that's quite snake-like. It's a long animal with humps which poke out of the water. And here we go. This is a snake-like fish that lives in the water. This is a freshwater eel. This slippery predator is a native fish once caught here for food, but now critically endangered.
The only thing is, this one's probably 3/4 of a pound, something like that. But at the very biggest, you're going to get one here, 4 or 5 pounds maybe. So what, 3-4 feet long?
Could the European eel be food for a much larger creature? Segadur has told me that there's a remote farm in a desert of hardened lava where they still prepare these giant sharks to eat. The hanging chunks of flesh don't give away any clues as to what the whole animal might look like. Gwydion Hildebrandson's family has prepared Hákarl meat at their isolated farm since his grandfather's day.
Hello. When the meat is fresh, it's toxic. So that's why we do this fermentation process.
Learning that its flesh is laced with poison only adds to the sinister aura surrounding this mysterious shark. Apparently, fermentation breaks down the toxin, but releases a pungent smell of ammonia. The flesh I'm about to taste smells of urine.
It's got a really strong aftertaste. It really kicks in. It really kicks in the back of the throat after you've taken the first bit. It's not like anything I've tasted before.
Yeah, it's unique.
But I can imagine, though, you know, in the old days, I mean, you've got a big fish, you can't eat it all in one go. It's wasteful just to throw it away. You've got to do something with it. So this is a traditional method. How big is the whole animal?
They're from maybe 10 till 20 feet, and from then they are maybe 1,000 till 2,500 pounds.
Wow.
So they are quite big.
You don't happen to have a whole one here by any chance, do you, that I can have a look at?
But give me a second.
Right. Oh, right, okay.
This is his mouth. This is a jaw.
These jaws are peculiar. This shark has two quite distinct types of teeth.
So these ones will grip the food, whatever it is, and, and then they shake the head, is it?
Yeah.
So these ones will then cut it. God, just almost cut myself there. Yeah, right.
In the early hours of April 26th, 1986, the safety systems at reactor number 4 were temporarily shut down for an experiment. Moments later, an unexpected power spike caused a series of huge explosions. They tore through the reactor, exposing hundreds of tons of intensely radioactive material to the surrounding environment. Chernobyl consists of multiple jurisdictions, much like a Russian doll, each layer giving way to the next, and all requiring a new level of permission. For my own safety, I'm restricted to just 5 consecutive days of exposure.
This is a fishing trip unlike any other. I've got a couple of things here that I wouldn't normally have with me. These will keep track of the total amount of radioactivity that I'm exposed to. But this thing's really my guardian angel. This will go everywhere with me. This will read in real time the level of radioactivity around me. If I'm anywhere where the reading's particularly high, there's an alarm that will go off.
Crucially though, this device also shows me how close I'm getting to my radiation limit. The signs of that evacuation lie all around. Deserted buildings and left belongings. You can't see radiation. You can't feel it, and you can't smell it. The men, women and children evacuated from this city were unaware of the seriousness of the accident, as dangerous levels of radiation streamed all around them. But not all living creatures were able to escape the radiation.
There were fish living in the very water that cooled the reactor, and what I need to do now is to find out what happened to them. Did they survive even? And if so, could this be the basis of this story about a huge mutant fish?
Many fish can live for well over 30 years. Could there still be fish alive here, trapped ever since the accident? Supersized mutants capable of tearing off human limbs.
Right, this bit of water here, I've heard that the fish are sometimes seen down here when the weather's warmer, but I'm not going to fish here because my alarm just keeps going off.
But now, my efforts are either thwarted by dangerous levels of radiation, or the water simply appears lifeless.
Well, this is another part of the lake, but it just seems dead. There's nothing doing here at all.
My body is being constantly bombarded by radiation, and I'm teetering right on the edge of my time limit, when finally, I set the hook.
It's a fish, a fish. Wait. I need the gloves.
Until this fish is analysed by Dimitri, I've no idea how radioactive it is and what risk it poses to me.
So this is it. This is the som. Long, dark, tapering body shape, the wide head, slimy skin, tentacles, teeth a bit like a worn-down brush. Yeah, absolutely positive ID.
I'm finally holding the biological black box I've been searching for. I may have caught bigger, but never a fish as extraordinary or significant as this. Dimitri's research will later reveal that far from being the mutant giant of science fiction, this Chernobyl catfish is under half the normal size for its age, its stunted flesh harbouring 16 times the usual level of radiation.
So I came to Ukraine to investigate stories of a fearsome water monster living in a remote, rural corner of the country, only to find it long gone, the victim, as is so often the case everywhere, of relentless human progress. So how strange that I should find this fish here, the site of the world's worst radiological disaster.
The ancient som of Ukraine live on as Chernobyl's radioactive river monsters.
That's interesting. It's sort of... Oh, wait a minute. See that?
Is there a movement?
Yeah, that's sort of pulling.
Yeah. Put on the harness.
Oh, see, holding it?
Yeah.
The harness should stop the rod being wrenched from my hands by a heavyweight giant.
There is definitely something there.
Yeah, there is.
And it feels like it weighs a ton.
Start reeling the other one.
The other lines have to come up before I can bring in the beast on the end of mine. If they don't, the fish could become tangled and trapped beneath the boat.
I think it might. That's a very big skate, isn't it?
That is a Norwegian skate.
It's a Norwegian skate.
This bizarre creature of the fjord floor was first described here in Trondheim. It's an extremely rare sight at the surface. The fantastical imagination of the Nordic map makers now seems quite tame compared with the reality of what's down there.
It's a very impressive looking animal, very strange looking animal, but very rare as well. Apparently Frederick's saying only 4 of these caught on rod and line before. So we've got to remember, we've got to take a tissue sample. These things don't come to the light very often at all.
Frederick works with a scientist at Tromsø University who collects all the data from his catches of sharks and skates.
It's the right colour for the fish that I want. The skin underneath certainly has got that rough feel, but it's completely the wrong shape. Skates are flattened sharks, and this is a very strange looking skate, but it's...
A 23-foot long, 4-ton river monster.
The rhizodont, a predatory freshwater fish, the size and weight of a killer whale.
"330 million years ago, they hunted Scotland's lakes and rivers. I need to go there to find out more." The first time I came to the Hunterian Museum in Glasgow, it was to see the plesiosaur, the reptile some believe is behind the biggest aquatic monster myth of all time, Loch Ness. But I've heard that massive rhizodont teeth found near here leave the plesiosaur's deadly hardware in the dust.
When these teeth were first discovered, they were thought to be from some kind of reptile, but they date from a time long before any reptiles were on the scene. Rhizodont means rooted tooth, and you can clearly see from where the enamel ends that fully half of this weapon was buried in the jawbone.
This tusk armed the front of the jaws of the largest species and is clearly designed to drive into flesh and bone and rip the prey apart. I haven't seen this in any other fish.
Now, the size of the teeth suggests large prey.
Victims as large as me. Scientists now think rhizodonts attacked like crocodiles do today.
Seizing large prey, then tearing it apart through sheer brute force.
And at 23 feet long, this fish had more than enough muscle to take on anything else in the water. To find out what's going on below, I'm working with my cameraman Simon and a mini submarine. We have also enlisted the help of Dr. Christian Wolter from the Berlin Fisheries to give me an expert opinion. We're here to examine the scene of the crime and see whether knowledge of the biology of the Wels could explain what exactly happened to trigger such aggression.
That's about 10 metres out, isn't it? That is about where the boy said he was attacked. What we could do is take it down there, so just over a metre. It's only about, you're straight in weed at a metre depth.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's okay.
I'd have thought you'd be out of your depth there, but you could stand up in that water, couldn't you, almost?
Yeah.
So it's weedy and shallow. But for Dr. Wolter, this is just the information he needs to understand what is going on. The Wels were just doing what every parent does, protecting their offspring. The swimmers had trespassed into their nursery.
So is there anything special or unusual about where they took place, do you think?
These are common spawning places and so on. That's why it might be the reason why it occurred so close to the bank.
The place that we've heard about the attacks happening, that would be a potential spawning place.
Catfish is a plant spawner. They build nests in the plants where they lay their egg and then they guard the net. Then it's the only explanation that it was during the breeding time that they had a nest there, were guarding the nest and attacked something which comes too close. For this particular catfish, it was a huge stress to guard the nest and have almost swimmers around.
So it was actually a provoked attack. It was protecting the nest. Freshwater crayfish and other fish will eat eggs from an unguarded nest. To prevent this, the male catfish sits over its 300,000 yellow eggs, protecting them from all comers, large or small. There are two essential qualities that make a man-eater. Wels catfish certainly have the attitude, but do they have the capacity? Do they literally have the stomach for the job? As a younger angler, I caught smaller wels, but how big do they need to get to pose a serious threat to a human? I'm in the town of Plymouth, and I've arranged to meet a man who's been fishing for conger for 35 years, so if anybody knows where to find them, he does. According to fisherman Malcolm Jones, conger eels haunt the shipwrecks and rocky ground of the deep sea. So he takes me out into the English Channel.
It's already getting noticeably more bumpy as we come out past the breakwater into the open sea. This is going to make fishing pretty challenging.
On the way out, we stop to catch some mackerel for bait.
Oh, here we go, look. Here we go.
Malcolm prepares a special rig to entice the congers out from their lairs.
So the idea is the current sort of just moves that around, and that's going to give lots of nice scent trail, isn't it? £1.5 of lead going on.
This is my first time fishing for conger eels, and I'm not sure what to expect. But detecting and reacting to a bite in these bumpy conditions is going to take concentration and precision timing.
Yeah, I think I might be. Oh, no. That was definitely some attention from something, because I don't have the bait, and I don't have no bait. I have half a bait. Yeah. Yeah, we got one. See if this one stays on the line. Here we go, that's conger.
Yeah, you got one.
Fantastic. I just want to calm it down a little bit and have a look at it. I'm just being careful though, because I don't want my hands anywhere near the mouth. Having spoken to Jimmy, seen what one of these did to his face, this is a fish to be treated with respect, even though this, as conger eels go, is not a big one. The thing is that they grow a lot heavier than this, much heavier than this, but in terms of length, it's something like twice the length of this. Right, here we go. Back you go. Well, swam off pretty strongly. Different fish have a different amount of tolerance to spending time out of the water. Some fish you've got to be really quick with. Congers are quite tough, and that was just straight off, back down to the bottom.
Ice fishing with hand lines hasn't changed much in hundreds of years, although hooks made from animal bone have been replaced by stainless steel.
Slightly more serious hook, and then that's not ordinary line, that's cable, that's wire cable, so even the Greenland shark's really big sharp teeth shouldn't cut through that. We've got a big lump of rock on the end to make sure it keeps on the bottom, and then we've got strong chain.
Simi unwraps his secret weapon, days-old seal meat.
That is horrible. But to a Greenland shark, that smells like dinner. Get that on the hook.
And then 3,000 feet of line, ready to drop into another world, where the water is pitch black and under intense pressure.
Yeah. So another one.
Yeah, get a knife.
So all the bait's in the water, and it's now pulling down fast. It's about the same distance to the bottom here as it is to the top of that mountain. Everything's very still up here on the surface, but there's a current. Even with that rock and chain on, it's not going straight down, it's going slightly that way.
The current will carry the smell out to sea, and if we're lucky, draw sharks onto the bait in pitch darkness, half a mile beneath us.
Again. We have the bottom. That's just a terrifying depth, and that is just way deeper than anything I've ever fished before.
The fishing that I normally do is often about waiting, but out here that's simply not an option. We would freeze to death. The Inuit way is to retreat to camp and return the next day. That evening, in the last glimmers of daylight, I joined Simi and his family for a traditional meal.
Thank you.
They've turned some of yesterday's halibut catch into a stew, and it's delicious.
That's very tasty.
Sharing food is an important part of Inuit culture. Communities will pull together to ensure that no one, including strangers, goes hungry. Next morning, rested and refreshed, we're back on the ice. It's 5 miles to the fishing hole, and the dogs seem eager to get there. The extreme long line has been down for over 12 hours. With 3,000 feet between us and the bait, there's no way to know if we've got something on the line.
Maybe. This is the one Greenlandic word I'm picking up.
Until we haul it up.
We've got a long haul getting the rock and getting the hooks up from the bottom. Something like 3/4 of a mile. And over here, take a wrap. Off we go.
It could be wishful thinking, but this feels heavier than the weighted line we dropped down yesterday.
I think it's more.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Oh, Pierre's smaller.
Yeah. There could be something on the end of this other than that lump of rock. Feels like more of an effort.
Walking in relay gives us a chance to catch our breath.
It's a bit like hauling something that could be 1,000 pounds plus in weight, twice the height of the Empire State Building, something like that.
But half an hour of heavy hauling brings the end of the line to the surface.
Line, chain. Oh! Yes, there's a fish. We have a fish on. We just need to get the chain up. Oh, yes. This is a big one. How do we get it through the hole?
The shark isn't fighting. It probably died on the line overnight.
Oh, right. The hole isn't big enough for the shark, so just cutting more ice. 2, 3. It still feels like it's stuck. Looks like we're going to need a bigger hole.
I never like to see a dead fish, but it's all part of survival here for the Inuit. This shark will feed Simi's dogs for weeks to come.
This is a big head. How big's the rest of it? This could be the moment if the hole's big enough. Okay, ready? Need to... Yes, is that coming? Yes, it started to come. I think it's a good 10 foot or so. I think there's still more to come.
This is a perfect opportunity to further my investigation.
It's out. It's a big animal. This is massive. This is huge. Let's have a look at it. It's a female. Very shark-like tail, that asymmetric tail. The fascinating thing about sharks that we always want to look at is the jaws, the teeth. And the Greenland shark has these very pointy teeth on the upper jaw. That's for gripping. But then on the lower jaw, you've got these almost square-shaped teeth with almost like a chisel blade on the end.
They're definitely sharp, but are they sharp enough to attack and kill?
The other thing here is the nostrils. Thinking of my baits in the context of this place, we're talking about a depth of water a couple of 1,000 feet deep. The bait is just a tiny speck in that immensity of water. And this managed to find it, and the way it found it is using its sense of smell.
I wait again for it to appear. This time in the eerie, silent darkness.
There it is. It's here. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. I think more people have seen the Earth from space than have seen one of these this time. Such an outlandish looking thing. I might even touch it. I actually touched it. Oh!
Even so close, it's hard to judge its length, but I estimate it's about 2.5 times my height.
Very, very fast and manoeuvrable. It doesn't flex the body. It's just a fin undulating like a wave.
Oarfish don't have swim bladders, so they can move very rapidly up and down the water column.
Seem to be definitely using the chain as a point of reference. Really follow this up. Look at this. 1 minute it wasn't there, and then suddenly it's right next to me. I can scarcely believe this. It almost came out of another dimension.
I feel so privileged to be in the presence of one of the most elusive creatures on the planet. And just as I think it can't get any better,
There's two. There's two. Incredible. Why do they do this? Why are they here? Are they feeding? Are they breeding? Well, this is going to be on film, hopefully. If it wasn't, I think I would doubt the accuracy of my senses. Did I really see what I just saw?
against all the odds, I believe I finally solved the mystery of the sea serpent. It's this extraordinary and exceptionally rare fish, the Oarfish, that is the true origin behind the enduring legend.
Too fast for me to follow. It's gone. It's gone.
The hours pass with no further action on the line. When something does finally break the surface, it's big, but it's not a shark.
Well, I've seen lots of strange things filming river monsters, but this is definitely a first for me. Sitting in a boat, and next thing you know, there's a submarine appearing alongside. Whee!
Seeing this submarine gets me thinking about what life must be like for Greenland sharks, living at extreme depth under immense water pressure.
This is a aluminium drinks bottle, empty. Seal it up. When I say it's empty, I mean technically it's full of air, but air at 1 atmosphere of pressure. And I'm going to throw this in the water. Actually, if I threw it in just like this, it would float. So, a couple of big weights to take it down and to record what happens to it. Waterproof camera here. Just set that running.
A Greenland shark has been observed over 7,000 feet down from a robotic submersible. This experiment shows what happens at just a fraction of that depth and pressure.
That's actually 100 feet. I'm going to stop it there and bring it up. There's the camera, and there we go. This is a metal object that's been crushed at 100 feet. The Greenland shark in this fiord lived down at 1,500 feet, so where the pressure is actually 15 times what did that. As a land animal who occasionally splashes around in the shallows, it's just very hard to imagine.
I strap in just in case. This is definitely my last chance to land something big.
Yes, 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 yes.
You have something?
Yes! It's actually pulling. Are you on my back? Somebody on that back. Somebody on this handle here. Yeah. That's rolling, it's rolling. Potentially dangerous because it rolls too far up the line. Ah. There's a very strong pull here, and the way that the rod is levering me, and I've got feet on a slippery deck. This is a couple of times I've just been quite worried about disappearing over the edge.
There's no doubt that whatever is on my line has monstrous power.
Lean me back. Okay, there it is. Ah, yes! Yes.
It's a wide one. It's very wide. It's a feisty one. It's a very feisty one.
It's a 10-foot Greenland shark.
Where's the other end?
Here, got it here.
So it's a big male shark. We can see from the claspers that they are very well developed.
Julius and I have just minutes to examine, tag and release this shark. The process punctures the thick skin but doesn't harm the animal. These satellite tags will record how far and how deep this shark swims over the next 6 months. For me though, it's all about size and power.
So this is the girth. So that is how wide around the body this animal is.
I reckon this shark weighs around 700 pounds. Julius estimates it's roughly 200 years old. It's one of the biggest and certainly the oldest fish I've ever caught. It's truly awe-inspiring to look at this creature up close, a monster that few people ever see. And this daylight encounter has told me what I needed to know. To test just how voracious these catfish are, I head into one of the Ebro's swollen tributaries. My guide tells me the fish are lurking right in at the margins. They are waiting to ambush fish in the current and also to grab anything that drops in from the banks.
Very energetic, active fishing, this quite precise as well. On the move, not sitting around waiting, and it's the kind of fishing where you're left in no doubt if you've got a bite. You're going to see it, feel it, hear it as something just launches itself at this and sort of wrenches on the rod. Ah, yes, 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 yes.
Good.
Whee, going downstream, watch the oar, watch the oar. Right. Ah! Gone, 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 gone. This water is cracking along at such a rate.
Yeah.
This is like a fast running pace. That's the place, let it sink a little bit and then twitch a little bit. That's what I'm
You see the attack's coming direct. The fish is in the water, you let it sink and boom.
Absolutely. 2 strikes, no fish, damn.
The Wels have made themselves totally at home here, not just in the main channels, but throughout the whole river system. As apex predators, they have a confidence that I'm about to witness firsthand. These fish are scared of nothing. Look at this. That's a big fish. I could almost reach down and grab its mouth. Do you have a calamari? There's a catfish here. It's big. It's 140 pounds plus. It is 2 feet beneath me. The bank goes down here. I am looking into its mouth. I could almost reach down and touch it. This is a really rare sight. That fish is 7 foot long. It's about 140 pounds at least. And it was in the margins, and I could see the whole fish. There it is. That's a sight. That is a rare sight. My respect for these fish over the past few days has really grown.
Oh! Ah! It's coming up. Strong fish, but I think it's tiring. There it is. There's the fish. Hey. Good grief. My crutch is killing me. And there it is.
But does it weigh more than 150 pounds?
The measure of the beast, that is 7 foot 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 foot 4 inches.
And then you open the mouth.
You can actually hear the echo coming out of the mouth there. Hello, hello. And I can see its gullet opening and closing. If I was so inclined, I could put my fist down there quite easily. That is an eating machine. The whole thing is nearly 8 foot of just solid rippling muscle. If that grabbed hold of your leg, that's an unpleasant enough thought, but if that decided not to let go and you were swimming, you'd be history. I'm about 175 pounds on a good day or a bad day, depending how you look at it. This fish could be more than that. Yeah. 74 kilos, that's about 163 pounds. Not quite as big and fat and ugly as I am. If it does have a go at me, I'm going to actually stand my ground and see if it, a bit like an elephant, see if it's a false charge or will it actually go and grab my leg. This is what I'm trying to remember, that this fish is bigger than I am. It's got a few inches on me.
I've got a few pounds on this fish, but I'm in the water. My extra weight actually counts for nothing. It's the fish's environment sinking down towards my foot. I think my reflexes overruled what I was wanting to do, which was stand my ground, but I can visualise it too much, what might be going on down there, what might be going through its mind, so don't tangle with these guys in their environment is the message.
To conjure up what it actually looked like, I'm heading to Peterborough in England, close to where I grew up. I've tracked down some pieces of the puzzle at Peterborough Museum, where I've been given permission to inspect some incredibly rare finds of the immense Leeds ichthys.
Leeds ichthys is named after Mr. Alfred Leeds, who in the 1800s, together with his wife and son, spent over 9 months piecing together thousands of fossilised bone fragments, rather like these ones. And what he ended up with was a huge tail, 9 foot high and remarkably complete. This is another Leeds ichthys fossil, this one excavated this century, so it came out not in thousands of little pieces, but in a plaster jacket, along with the clay it was lying in, and then it was cleaned up to reveal a remarkably complete pectoral fin, and it's over 5 feet long.
It came from an individual estimated at 25 feet long, but a complete Leeds ichthys skeleton has never been found.
The rest of the body simply seems to vanish. No wonder its complete name is Leeds ichthys problematicus.
How can I evaluate an aquatic ghost as possibly the greatest fish that ever lived? What does the biggest ever really mean? It's something I can only demonstrate outside.
Normally when I go to the beach, I'm there to bring in a monster. I never get to play in the sand.
Today, I'm going to create my own life-size image of this contender for the ultimate river monster, based on the latest research into this giant's family.
Let's start with the basic outline. From the tip of the snout to the end of its tail, we're talking more than 50 feet.
So you could line me up 8 times along its length. Then there are those elongated fins I saw in the museum.
Now, this full-size specimen is twice the length of the one in Peterborough, so the pectoral fin could be as much as 12 feet long.
So you could line up 2 of me along each fin. It was the huge, elongated pectoral fins that gave this beast enough lift to stay up in the surface layers of the prehistoric oceans. This fish was like a giant ocean glider. Then there's its enormous mouth.
It had a huge gape. I could pretty much walk into its mouth, but I wouldn't find any savage fangs in there. This giant ate plankton like the largest whales do today. But although this thing is the size of a full-grown humpback whale, I had to keep reminding myself that it wasn't an air-breathing mammal. This thing was a fish. Even though I've seen the evidence, I still find it really hard to imagine fish the size of this swimming through those prehistoric seas that once covered Britain.
Long before whales came on the scene, the Goliath ghostfish was the first plankton-feeding leviathan. After fishing 400 rod hours and reeling in 50 miles of line, is my luck about to change?
Was it a good nod or? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
feel some real weight now?
Yes.
Yes.
That is,
Good man.
that is not the lead. That's a fish.
It's my last chance. But is it the monster I've come so far to find?
Could be another 50 yards, it could be another 100.
I've never had to haul any fish up such an extraordinary distance, way higher than the Empire State Building.
There's a pulsing, there's a very, very sort of slow pulsing.
It's rolling, it's rolling. You have to, that's what you feel.
If this is a Greenland shark and its rough skin touches the braid, the line will sever and I'll lose my last chance.
It's very important the other lines come in to make sure that we don't get tangled. I think it's getting near the boat. It's probably aware of the boat now. Leader's in sight. Okay.
There she is, there she is.
The Greenland shark. It's just too big to bring on board. We'd only injure it trying. We'll have to tie it alongside.
It's a monstrous thing to find this far inland and to bring up from such a depth as well, but we're just trying to get the tail rope on it now. By the standards of what normally lives inland, this is huge, this is monstrous. Willem's reckoning possibly 400 pounds.
Despite their enormous size, they're a mystery to science. We know virtually nothing about how they live, breed or hunt.
Small dorsal fin, that's not your normal erect sharp dorsal fin. If this was actually at the surface, you wouldn't see that characteristic triangle cutting the surface. It'd be just more of a smooth hump.
But if I want to get a closer look, and if the fish can't come to me in the boat, I have to go to the fish. I've no choice but to get into the freezing water with the world's largest predatory shark after the great white.
This water, even through the dry suit and about 5 layers of undergarments, is cold. It's cold, and this thing lives in it all the time. We're not up here, nearly half a mile down. Dark brown in colour. If this came up and did break the surface, you wouldn't actually think it was a shark. You wouldn't know what it was. It has got this sort of upturned boat hull appearance. What a beast this is.
It's believed they'll eat almost anything they come across down in the abyssal depths. No one yet knows what potential threat they pose to humans.
I've lost the front of the shark. We're a bit too close to the business end. I'm going to come back a little bit. I think it's probably getting close to the time when we should actually slip the hook out and let it go back to the depths. Yep. Okay. Give what you saw there.
As I clamber out of the freezing fjord, Frederick tags the shark in case it ever surfaces again.
Good, hook's out, tail rope to go. Oh, it's gone already, and it just seems very unreal now that it was here. A lot of people, even living around here, no idea that creatures like that are almost right under their noses.
Once it's disarmed, we head for the bank.
Most of the body of the fish is actually in the water. I haven't really properly seen this fish. I'm really looking forward now to getting it in